The story follows Ethan Carter, a 17-year-old high school junior who feels stuck in the background of his own life. He's smart but insecure, constantly comparing himself to his confident friends and star athletes at school. His family struggles financially, and Ethan quietly worries about college and helping his mom with bills. His everyday life revolves around classes, awkward hallway moments, late-night gaming with friends, and trying to survive the chaos of high school. Ethan's friend group includes his loud and loyal best friend Marcus and their sarcastic but supportive friend Lily. They spend lunches joking about teachers, texting memes in group chats, and going to Friday night football games, even though Ethan mostly stands on the sidelines. Everything starts to shift when Ethan meets Ava Ramirez, a new transfer student who ends up sitting next to him in chemistry class. Ava is confident, funny, and unexpectedly kind to Ethan. Their first interaction is awkward but cute when Ethan accidentally knocks over a beaker during a lab experiment, and Ava helps him clean up while teasing him about it. Over time, they begin studying together after school, sharing music playlists, and texting late into the night. Ethan slowly develops his first real romantic feelings but is terrified of messing things up. One afternoon, while Ethan is waiting outside the school for his mom, a calm but mysterious doctor approaches him. The doctor explains that he's running a harmless experimental study for young volunteers and offers Ethan $20,000 to participate in a short series of tests. Ethan initially laughs it off, thinking it sounds sketchy. But later that night, Ethan overhears his mom stressing about overdue bills and college savings. The money suddenly feels life-changing. After discussing it with Marcus and Lily, who both react with a mix of jokes and concern, Ethan can't stop thinking about the opportunity. Ava also hears about it during a study session and warns him to be careful, but Ethan reassures her it's probably just a medical study. Feeling like this could finally be his chance to help his family and prove he's not just the quiet background kid, Ethan agrees to meet the doctor. The first testing session seems simple and harmless, but when Ethan leaves the clinic, something strange happens. He suddenly notices he can hear people's whispered conversations across the hallway, and their phone notifications buzzing from across the room. Confused and a little scared, Ethan realizes something about the experiment might have changed him. The cliffhanger ends when Ethan receives a text from the doctor. Side effects may begin sooner than expected. Don't tell anyone yet. The fluorescent hallway lights buzzed overhead as Ethan Carter leaned against his locker, pretending to scroll through his phone while trying not to feel invisible. Around him, Jefferson High moved like its usual chaotic morning storm. Lockers slammed. Someone shouted about homework. A group of seniors walked past, laughing too loudly. Somewhere down the hall, a basketball bounced against the floor. Ethan's phone buzzed. Marcus. Bro, you alive? Or did chem homework kill you? Ethan smiled faintly and typed back. Ethan, barely. If I failed this test, tell my mom I tried. A second later, another message popped up. Marcus. Dramatic much? Meet at lunch. Big plans tonight. Before Ethan could ask what that meant, the warning bell rang. Students started flooding toward classrooms. Ethan sighed and grabbed his chemistry book. Another normal day of trying not to embarrass himself. Chemistry class was already half full when he walked in. The air smelled faintly like cleaning chemicals and dry erase markers. He slid into his usual seat in the back. But someone was already sitting beside him. She looked up from her notebook, dark hair falling slightly across her face. Oh, sorry, Ethan said quickly. I think that's on my seat. She raised an eyebrow. Relax, she said. I'm new. I didn't know seats were like reserved parking. Her tone wasn't mean, more amused. Ethan immediately felt his face warm. No, it's fine, he said awkwardly. Can't stay there. Good, she said, extending her hand. I'm Ava. Ethan blinked for a second before shaking it. Ethan? Nice to meet you. Ethan Dash, who Dash looks Dash like Dash, he Dash hates Dash chemistry. He laughed nervously. That obvious? You walked in like the beakers personally offended you. Before Ethan could respond, the teacher clapped her hands. All right, everyone. Lab partners today. Ethan froze. The teacher pointed. Ethan, you're together. Of course. During the lab, Ethan tried to focus on measuring liquids, while Ava casually hummed along to music playing faintly through someone's earbuds across the room. So she said, glancing at his notebook. You're actually good at this. I just memorize stuff. Ethan said. That counts. He carefully lifted a beaker and immediately knocked it over. Liquid splashed across the table. Ethan groaned. Perfect. First impression destroyed. Ava burst out laughing as she grabbed paper towels. Relax, scientist. It's just water. He helped wipe the mess, still embarrassed. You always this clumsy? She asked. Only when someone cool is watching. The words slipped out before his brain could stop them. He froze. Ava looked at him for a second, then smiled. That might be the smoothest awkward line I've heard all week. Ethan wasn't sure if he'd been complimented or roasted. Probably both. By lunch, Marcus and Lily were already at their usual table near the windows. Marcus spotted Ethan approaching. There he is, he said loudly. The man who survived chemistry? Lily slid a tray toward Ethan. You look like you ran a marathon. I spilled stuff, Ethan muttered. Marcus grinned. Classic. Ethan sat down. Also, I met someone. Marcus leaned forward instantly. Say less. Lily pointed her fork at him. Name Ava? Ethan said. Marcus slapped the table. Oh, new girl? You already know her? Ethan asked. She transferred last week, Lily said. Everyone knows her. Soccer team's already obsessed. Marcus nodded dramatically. And now, our boy Ethan's lab partner? Ethan rolled his eyes. It's not like that. Marcus smirked. Yet later that night, Ethan was finishing homework at the kitchen table when his mom walked in, rubbing her temples. Long day. He asked. She gave him a tired smile. Always, she opened a stack of mail and sighed quietly. Ethan pretended to keep working, but he heard her whisper under her breath. Another bill. The knot in his chest tightened. He stared at his textbook, barely reading the words. The next afternoon, Ethan was waiting outside school when a man in a calm gray suit approached him. Ethan Carter. Ethan looked up. Yeah. The man smiled politely. My name is Dr. Lawson. I'm conducting a research study involving young volunteers. Ethan frowned. Okay, there's compensation, the doctor continued. $20,000. Ethan laughed. You're joking. I assure you I'm not. The number echoed in Ethan's head the entire bus ride home. $20,000. That night he told Marcus and Lily over a group call. Marcus nearly choked laughing. Bro, that's how horror movies start. Lily looked skeptical. Did he have a van? No, still suspicious. The next day, Ethan told Ava during a study session at the library. She frowned. That sounds weird. He said it's harmless, Ethan said. Just tests. But why you? I don't know. Ava looked at him carefully. Just be careful, okay? Ethan nodded. But later that night, he heard his mom quietly stressing over bills again. $20,000. The decision suddenly felt obvious. 2 days later, Ethan sat inside a small, spotless clinic room. Dr. Lawson adjusted a device beside him. "This'll be quick," he said calmly. Ethan swallowed. Cool. The test itself felt simple. Some lights, some sensors. Nothing scary. When it was done, the doctor smiled. He did great. Ethan left the clinic feeling mostly normal, until he walked into the crowded hallway at school the next morning. Suddenly he heard something strange. 2 freshmen whispering near lockers, from halfway down the hall. A phone vibrating in someone's backpack across the room. Every tiny sound felt amplified. Ethan froze. His phone buzzed. A new message. Unknown number. Dr. Lawson. Side effects may begin sooner than expected. Then another message appeared. Dr. Lawson. Don't tell anyone yet. Ethan stared at the message on his phone while the hallway noise around him suddenly felt 10 times louder. ID. Side effects may begin sooner than expected. Don't tell anyone yet. Lowered the phone. Crossed the hallway. Someone whispered, "Did you study for the history test?" And he could hear every word clearly, even though they were almost 30 feet away. Locker slammed somewhere behind him and he flinched. Dude. Marcus appeared in front of him, waving a hand in his face. You good? Look like you just saw a ghost? Ethan blinked. Yeah, I'm fine. Marcus squinted. That was the least convincing "I'm fine" I've ever heard. Lily joined them, holding an iced coffee. Either he failed a test, or he finally talked to Ava and embarrassed himself. Ethan tried to smile. Neither, but his ears kept catching random sounds. The buzz of a phone in someone's backpack, a conversation near the stairwell. even the squeak of sneakers in the gym hallway. It was like someone turned the world's volume knob all the way up. He shoved his phone into his pocket. Let's just go to class. Chemistry felt impossible. Every tiny sound distracted him. Pencil tapping 3 rows away. Someone quietly chewing gum. A faint phone vibration in another backpack. Ethan rubbed his temples. You okay? Eva whispered beside him. He forced a shrug. Just tired. She studied him for a second. You look like you drank 6 energy drinks. I wish. The bell rang and students began packing up. As they stepped into the hallway, Ethan heard something strange. A quiet voice near the corner lockers. Just ask her to prom already, man. Ethan turned instinctively. It was Marcus, whispering to Lily 20 feet away. Lily whispered back, he's too scared. Marcus laughed quietly. Lily likes her. Ethan froze. They were talking about him. Eva noticed him staring. What? Nothing, Ethan said quickly. That afternoon, the group sat on the bleachers watching football practice. The sun dipped low over the field, painting everything orange. Marcus tossed a football toward Ethan. Catch. Ethan caught it easily. Too easily, okay, Marcus said. That's suspiciously athletic. Beginner's luck, Ethan muttered. Psst. Eva sat beside him, sipping a soda. You've been weird all day. Define weird. You keep turning your head like you're hearing things. Ethan hesitated. His phone buzzed again. Another message from Dr. Lawson. Your sensory awareness may be heightened temporarily. Remember our agreement? Ethan quickly locked the phone. Everything okay? Ava asked. He forced a smile. Yeah. But the guilt sat heavy in his chest. Later that night, Ethan lay on his bed staring at the ceiling. His phone lit up with a group chat message. Marcus. Friday night game plus after party Lily. AKA Marcus trying to impress Jessica again, Marcus. This is slander. Ethan smiled faintly. Then another text appeared. Ava, you free tomorrow? Study session part 2? Ethan typed back. Ethan. Always the next afternoon they sat on the floor of the library surrounded by notebooks and snacks. Ava leaned back against the shelf. You're distracted again. Ethan sighed. I might have done something dumb. Define dumb. He hesitated. Remember that doctor thing? Her eyes widened. You did it? Yeah. Ava stared at him. Ethan, it sounded harmless. What did they do? Just tests. And now, he rubbed the back of his neck. Can hear things. She blinked. What? Like everything? Across rooms, whispers, phone vibrations. Ava stared for a long moment. Then she said softly, That's actually kind of insane, I know. You should tell someone. I signed papers. So, they gave me $20,000. Ava's expression softened. For your mom? He nodded. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she said quietly, You're a good son, you know? Ethan laughed weakly. I'm also possibly a human science experiment. She smiled a little. True. Then her expression turned serious again. Just promise me something. What? If it gets dangerous, you walk away? He met her eyes. Promise. Friday night, the stadium lights blazed over the football field. Students filled the stands. Music blasted from speakers. Marcus painted a ridiculous Go Tigers sign on Ethan's cheek. You're part of the hype now, he declared. Lily rolled her eyes. He looks like a confused mascot. Ava walked up holding popcorn. Ethan's heart skipped. She wore a simple school hoodie and jeans, but somehow she looked amazing. Marcus leaned toward Lily and whispered loudly. He's staring again. Ethan elbowed him. During halftime, the crowd roared as the team scored. Ethan suddenly heard something strange through the noise. A quiet argument near the equipment room under the bleachers. He knows too much. Just follow the instructions. The voices were familiar. Ethan's stomach dropped. Dr. Lawson and another man. If the boy talks, the trial shuts down. Trial. Ethan stood up suddenly. Ava grabbed his arm. What's wrong? Need to check something. He hurried down the bleachers toward the hallway under the stadium. The voices grew clearer. We move to the next subject next week, and Carter, observe him. Ethan's chest tightened. Observe him. He stepped back slowly, heart pounding. When he returned to the bleachers, Ava was waiting. You disappeared. Ethan sat down beside her. They're not done with me, he whispered. What do you mean? He told her everything he heard. Her face went pale. That's not okay, I know. So what are you going to do? Ethan looked out at the field where Marcus and Lily were laughing, and back at Ava. For the first time in his life, he didn't feel like the quiet background kid. He felt responsible. I think they're testing this on a bunch of people, he said quietly. And if it's dangerous? Ava nodded slowly. You're going to expose them. He looked at her. Yeah, she smiled slightly. That's actually kind of heroic. He laughed. Terrifying, actually. Ava nudged his shoulder. You won't be alone. Marcus suddenly appeared holding nachos. Why do you two look like you're planning a heist? Ethan smiled at his friends. Maybe this experiment changed him. Maybe it also showed him who he really was. Later that night, Ethan received one more message from Dr. Lawson. Your progress is exceptional. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. Ethan stared at the screen. Then he looked up at Ava walking beside him under the stadium lights. For the first time, he didn't feel afraid, because now he had something worth fighting for. And tomorrow, everything was going to change.